The audience can hear me, and the audience can certainly hear you.
We're back.
We're back, folks. After a week-long hiatus, we are back with our second show of 2025. Nearly at the end of the month. Near the end of the month. Well, not quite. We still got one more week of January, but we're back, folks. We're back, and we have two huge topics for you today. Two huge, bouncing, bountiful, jiggling topics.
What do you got in your mind?
the way Street Fighter 6 is advertising Mai Shiranui. You didn't notice this, but when her trailer came out and they were talking about it, whoever was the PR market doing the PR and all of that, they knew their mission because they were doing a whole bunch of double entendres in the marketing and even on their like website description, like literally, like on the official Steam page for her DLC, it literally says Mai is bouncing into Street Fighter 6. And I think there's even a tweet where the PR guy also says, I believe the tweet says something to the effect of, there are not the tweet, her character guide says something to the effect of, there are two huge reasons why you should play Mai Shiranui. Oh, they're having fun. They're having fun. I want that job. Welcome to episode 204 of the HAC and JAC Show. And I am not lying. We do have two huge topics. We're going to be discussing the recent mixed reveal of the Switch 2. And more importantly, catch up with Dragon Ball Daima as we discuss episodes 8 through 14. So there is a lot of ground for us to cover for this week, and luckily we have plenty of time to do so because as I currently speak at this hour, our city in the great state of Texas is going to have another winter freeze. But this time, Jack, we are prepared, we are ready, and we have all faith that our Texas government learned their lesson and we ain't gonna be losing any power. Hopefully.
Let's see.
Exactly. We'll see. Because if not, there's gonna be 2019 all over again. At least I won't be having to work in a retail job. So that's the one. That's my other only positive about this. But until then, folks, we are still good and running until the snowstorms come to Texas tonight. And hello, Johnny, I see you in the chat. His narrator, they were in fact not prepared. I have confidence. Trust me, it was such a kerfuffle the first time that happened that like it really was like a wake up call, and now we should be good. Hopefully for the next 50 years, with the like every few years a big snowstorm comes over to our great Lone Star State.
Specifically too on the Gulf Coast.
Exactly. No one expects snow on the beach. That's kind of funny. Imagine living in an area where you get the hottest of hots and the coldest of colds.
Never make up their mind.
All in one space too. Especially like throughout this entire month of January. I know we're just talking weather, not the most interesting thing, but it is one of those unique things. We're living in the few parts of the world where you can have like nice 7-degree or like 25-degree Celsius weather for those Celsius people, and then the next day it could be like 10 degrees Celsius or 30 degrees Fahrenheit. That's just where we live. This is the reality, and you can judge for yourself of why it is like that. But we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about something more important. And to start off, we are going to be discussing the Switch 2, or rather, the as I said, the mixed opinion on the Switch 2 reveal. So, first off, before we go dive into what everyone else is saying about the Switch 2, we best talk about what we want to share our opinions on the Switch 2. So, first off, just to set the things up, I personally own a Switch Lite, and in my household there is also the original Switch which we did get back in 2017. Jack, how many Switches do you own?
Oh boy, yes. How many switches? Plural? I only got one.
That's all. That's all you need. That's all you need. Don't be like me. But yes, both of us are in fact Switch owners because as much as we have, I mean, I just kind of accept it. It's it's kind of funny. I never put it together, but I guess I'm technically part of the PC crowd because majority of the modern games I play are in fact on my PC. So it's not it's not like I'm booting up the PS4 to play these games, and I have no interest in getting a PS5 or an Xbox Series XXX starring Vin Diesel.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So
There is no need to get a PS5 or an Xbox console. Xbox, you could get all their games through the Xbox cloud gaming and the Game Pass. Or at least a good chunk of them.
Exactly, and all the PlayStation exclusives end up on PC anyway.
Yep.
So yeah, so yeah. However, Nintendo, they are still adamant that if you're gonna play a Nintendo game, it must be on Nintendo hardware. And for the Switch review, if you haven't watched it yet, it's very short. Go check it out. They're coming back right here. As far as hardware, only thing we know for certain that we're not gonna do from leaks or whatever speculation about whatever patent that Nintendo put on. Only thing we know for certain is that the Switch 2 is gonna be bigger in terms of screen size. Joy-Cons are gonna be bigger, and as a new different color palette with having a lot of the color on the inside of the Joy-Cons. It's gonna have 2 USB-C ports. Thank God it still keeps the headphone jack. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And a slot for micro SD cards, and a redesigned stand, which I thank God because that original stand on the Switch is a junk. That thing is
so
junk.
Fragile.
It is, and the worst part was that you have to remove it or at least open it partially to insert an SD card there. And that thing's already so fragile that trying to put a micro SD card into your Switch, you risk breaking your own little stand.
Mm-hmm.
So thank God they fixed that design, and that's really all we could say. The only game we know for certain is coming is Mario Kart, which everyone's dubbing Mario Kart 9, which most likely would be what the game is called. And
it'll have 24.
Yes, right. Everyone's say 24 players, and all the characters have been redesigned, as noticed by everyone paying attention to Donkey Kong. Which you notice the Donkey Kong, he doesn't have a new look. He's gone back to his old look, which the pre Donkey Kong Country look.
Yeah.
So that's all that's been confirmed and shown. And personally, I am intrigued and excited, and can't wait to hear more about it when the proper April Direct for the Switch 2 arrives, so then I can have a fully formed opinion, like a responsible consumer. Jack, what were your thoughts when you saw that trailer?
I generally did like the trailer, especially the fact that with the way that they showed this trailer, it was basically hey, look, we fixed a lot of the issues that came from the first one. And I think in a way it was just like we're not gonna really go with a big, super duper fancy gimmick like how the others used to be. We're gonna basically tweak what was wrong with the first iteration and make it better.
Yep, but
I
yep.
mhm.
No, keep going. Sorry.
uh I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Oh, that's my fault. Then I was gonna add to that that the refinement of Nintendo Switch should be something be to praise and to applaud Nintendo, considering that ever since the Nintendo not the Nintendo Wii, but since the Nintendo DS, Nintendo has always wanted to always experiment with how someone can play video games, whether it's with having dual screens or using a tablet, motion controls, all of that stuff that Nintendo has, in the eyes of the gaming public, has established themselves as those type of console innovators. And you know what's funny about all of that? Because from the sounds of it, both of us are relatively positive about the Switch 2 reveal, and would like to hear more. And of course, this all goes without saying. At the end of the day, it's all about the games. It's always about the
Exactly.
games, and so the console itself is nice. We'll like to see what the games are when that is most likely revealed in a few months. But of course, being that
Exactly.
this is the internet and the internet thrives on discourse, many people, most of them, if not all of them, not people who even buy Nintendo hardware in the first place, are ready to give in their hot takes and uninformed opinions about with very lack of little information. And the biggest one being is that, and this one's annoyed the heck out of me, that there are folks who rag on Nintendo for not trying to basically make a better machine and always trying to add quote unquote gimmicks. And the one time they decide to refine and improve a highly successful hardware, that Sony is still making up numbers to make sure that the Switch is not the most high selling console of all time, because somehow they always find some new millions of PS2s that were sold and accounted for. That's a real thing, Jack. Every few months, especially after the Switch got some new numbers, Sony was like, "Oh, look how much the PS2 has sold as of today." So it's an arms race between the Switch and the PS2.
It's so sad.
But in any case, despite the fact that the Switch showing that you don't need the best hardware and you don't need and you need something that appeals to, for a majority of people, not everyone, but for a majority of people to be a success, most uninformed people are somehow I'm not trying to be polite, but trying to find no words here. Most uninformed people are somehow disappointed that Nintendo decides to not do something drastically different, at least what's shown in this reveal, and are trying to make light of the fact that, oh, the Switch 2 will probably be just as powerful as a PS4.
Mhm.
Which I remind folks, a PS4, had games, regardless if you think of their game quality in terms of visuals, had games like Uncharted 4, The Last of Us Part 2, the first Spider-Man game, the new God of War games. I don't care if you like these games or you don't like them, you cannot deny that those are impressive looking games. And that's going to and the Switch 2 theoretically is going to be as powerful as that. And also keep in mind, as I'm trying to add some with my little dramatic pause, that the PS5, let's be honest, aside from maybe load times and light effects, or PS5 games that much more different than PS4 games? I rest my case.
See, and when it came to that, like it was just definitely a. So like of course I don't usually go into the comments when it comes to these type of things, mostly because I mean it was a reveal that was only like 3 minutes long. I didn't really care for comments for a 3 minute long video that was almost technically a YouTube short. So I didn't even bother going into the comments, but I had my first real life comment.
That's
And
oh,
yes,
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I will technically throw him under the bus, but mostly it's because like
He deserves
it
it.
kind of gives a nice perspective of what's happening. My brother comes into my room. He's like, you heard about the Nintendo Switch 2? I'm like, yeah. And then before I can even say I like it, he just like, man, I don't know, like I'm not too interested in it. I'm like, why? Because it's just like they didn't really do anything that different. I'm like, yeah, but like, what do you want them to do? What do you want Nintendo to do?
Cut to that scene from
Like,
the
do you want
Notebook.
a new
Cut to scene
like do
to the
you want a
Notebook.
new gimmick?
What do you want? What do you want, woman?
And I'm like, do you want a new gimmick with it? He's like, No, it's just like, it's not gonna be that powerful. I'm like, okay, and like, why would you care about it being powerful? It's a handheld system. Like, technically it's a hybrid system where it's both handheld and stationary. I just use it as a handheld because it's very convenient for me. But I'm like, of course it's not gonna have 4K resolution. And then he's like, yeah, but like it would just be nice to have like better graphics. It's like, okay, but like, see, this is the problem I have with a lot of people nowadays, where they want to sacrifice a lot of things just for better graphics. Better graphics does not make a good game. He's like, yeah, I get that. I'm like, okay, so then if you get that, then look what happened. Look at what happened with the. And I was in the middle of playing Pokemon on my computer. I was playing Pokemon Rogue, which is kind of like a roguelite thing. And I'm like, look at this. They haven't Game Freak hasn't made a Pokemon game that's in 2D in forever. They decided to go switch over into 3D, and look what happened with Scarlet and Violet. I enjoyed the game for what it was, but it was buggy, glitchy, poorly optimized. Pokemons were popping in and out. But hey, for the better graphics, right?
And I also want to add into that. I see your first off, I see your joke, Johnny. Says he wants to switch to it took his balls to do his taxes. Don't we all? Don't we all? Uh but um but what they want to add in, because let's say like people like Jack's brother who legitimately they want a handheld console with that type of power. Guess what? It's called. There's this thing called a Steam Deck. It
Yep.
exists. You can buy that. Yep. Oh, but then here comes the problem, Jack. Here's the problem. You see, this is what people are actually saying. They want the Nintendo console to be powerful, so they could still play the Nintendo games. That's what they're really saying. If all they really did care was just they wanted a more powerful console, the Switch 2 wouldn't even be on their radar. They would be like, that's neat. And they will continue to mod in their Steam Deck so they can play 25-year-old games at 4K resolution and 60 frames per second.
Exactly. And that was the thing. I'm like, it devolved into me going on the rant of like, the problem is it's gamers wanting to make games look like you can count every individual pore on a person, and then the game devs doing exactly what the gamers want, which is nice looking games, but then they're poorly optimized, they're poorly designed, You have things like Scarlet and Violet. You have things like, what was that one Star Wars game? Outlaws. Like,
And and the worst part about it is that in trying to reach the graphical fidelity is that games are delayed. You get less games, and the games that do come out tend to be games that are either have dated game designs, don't look as impressive anymore, or end up becoming massive failures each and of their own, all in trying to be as good as possible instead of actually focusing on making a good game, a good playing game. So
exactly. And like I went on this whole thing of like, you can technically get both in the sense of like very good gameplay and nice graphics, but it's not gonna be in the way you think. It's not gonna be the whole realism thing. I'm talking about artistically beautiful, like Ori and the Blind and the Blind Forest. That one, Ori, and actually, I really like the way Astral Chains look. Like I still have the game. I'm still playing it. I
I
like the way how the game looks.
I gotta play it.
It's beautiful.
I gotta buy and actually play it.
Xenoblade looks amazing, even though it's on that game on the Switch. It looks. I like it. I like the way it looks.
And
Tears of the Kingdom.
just remember that was originally a Wii game, so
Exactly.
oh my gosh.
And like Tears of the Kingdom, as much as I harp on its gameplay because of mostly like my opinions of stuff, like how I want my games to be, runs generally well for how it is. It's all about optimizing the game and choosing a certain artistic style for it. It doesn't always have to be realistic, or it has to be even it doesn't even have to be like the way those games that I just talked about. It could look exactly like Octopath. 2.5D with like the HD 2.5D sprites, or as long as you have some imagination and try to optimize it, it will look beautiful. That's all we need.
Yeah.
We need to go back to that little. I think GK actually even talked about that a little bit in his channel, in his Twitch.
I remember that, and we could be heading into that direction. The more these big games start to lose money from a lot of these publishers, because at the end of the day, you know, these companies want their money, and if they and as revealed with Sony, Sony pretty much had to do a whole 180 on their business plan when because the failure of Concord was that bad, because they were planning to make release more games like Concord, but Concord failed spectacularly so much that they're like, all right, nope, no more games as a service thing. Let's just try to make regular games.
Yeah, and like that was the thing. And even then, even if it was a whole thing about live service, it was just like the direction of that game.
Oh yeah,
Like as
they
Ghetto
that
says, art direct is better than graphics.
exactly. But I don't want to harp on it too much because we have a bunch of Dragon Ball to talk about. But Jack and I have pretty much we gone through what our opinions are. We're both excited for it. We think a lot of the discourse is dumb because it's said by very uninformed people who, if they really cared about what they're saying, they would not even bother getting to switch to and be content with the actual other competition within the game market. At the end of the day, you buy a Nintendo console because you want to play Nintendo video games. Is that not true, good sir?
Correct. And also, one little thing to add. I am excited to see how that little mouse pad, the mouse track, whatever it's called, on the Joy-Con is going to play out. Because,
Is that
well,
confirm?
first
Is
of
that confirm a real feature? Because I know people talking about it, but I'm not. But I don't want. I don't want. I don't know. That's actually a confirmed thing the Switch 2 will have, or people doing wild speculation on little information.
basically, it's just been only currently saying as seemingly confirmed. But if it is true, this will go for a lot of niche games, but at the same time, it can also help out with a lot of games that like require that kind of mouse like game style, like and they won't need. I don't know if it's true. I think it'll be a lot easier for some certain game devs to port over their gameplay because of the fact that it's a mouse.
Man,
Like
that
for
that
example,
that
Civilization.
oh yep, the Civ, lot of strategy games, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of
Strategy
strategy games.
shooters. What's a game that's also heavy? What genre is also heavy reliant on mouse control?
I mean, to be, I don't even know if it's possible, but if there's a will, there's a way. They could even put in like Baldur's Gate games where they require all those like have a heavy
You know
UI.
what? If Nintendo really want to get that money, I bet you Baldur's Gate 3 would be like there will be a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I guarantee, and I'm not guaranteeing it, but I'm saying that'll be a huge benefit for Nintendo, especially considering they now have competitive hardware to run a game like that. And if that mouse thing is true and works kind of how we want, I like it would be so weird if to say like you want a game like Baldur's Gate or an FPS and to be like the best version to get is either on PC or on Switch just because of the mouse control.
And here's a funny thing. Like, and not just that, imagine playing Splatoon with that. It'll just be a
uh,
lot easier.
that would be funny because then guess what? That would be funny to me because then you have you know what it'll become. The student audience will be split like fighting games where you have the audience
Yes.
who want like no gyro controls is how you play the game and that's how it's designed for. The other audience goes no, mouse control is more effective, and so you got the gyro crowd and the mouse crowd, just like you got the stick crowd and the
Exactly.
well, what's the other control? The one you use? What those called again?
They call them leverless
The
controllers.
the lever and the leverless controller. I would love to see that timeline. People are arguing which way to play is the best.
You can't play the mouse Joy Cons anymore. They're cheating. It's cheating.
It's cheating. Real Splatoon gamers use gyro controls. I was there when I strapped that Wii remote underneath my Pro controller.
Oh, and you're right, Ghetto. The copious amounts of very ecchi puzzle games. Yes, yes. I know you only said puzzle games, but
We
all I
talk.
ever see on the Nintendo store right now when it comes to like all these puzzle games is uh Beach Day Lovers 69 puzzle game, and it's just like a simple flip them over or like
Well,
slide little like puzzle pieces stuff.
well, of course you need to be simple. You need to be able to play those games with one hand. All right. Oh, and also that other big boon for the Switch, the fact that it's going to be compatible with almost every Switch One game. Just saying.
Which is
That's
I
like
found it very weird that the Animal Crossing is apparently not compatible.
if I had to guess, it could be some. If I had to guess, it could be something to do with NSO or that's the only thing I could think of, or maybe they use some sort of proprietary technology on the actual little carts of Animal Crossing or in the files. But as
Probably.
me speculating, I have no idea. Either case, there's gonna be a new Animal Crossing to replace it anyways.
True.
Just like how there's gonna be a new Smash, which imagine, oh my god, think about it. That the Switch 2 is gonna be the console that's in which, hey, if you don't like whatever the new Smash is gonna be, you can still play Smash Ultimate on it.
You know, the biggest blunder for me whenever it came to the Switch was buying Animal Crossing. Mostly because half the content is locked behind being in the daytime. And I'm like,
You-
wow, I can't wait to buy whatever, like I think there were turnips. I can't wait to buy those and like play around with the stock market. When do I buy them? Oh, it's on a Sunday.
I don't
Well,
know.
maybe they're all day.
Maybe
No, it's only on
I never played
mornings.
Animal Crossing game, but maybe they don't do this anymore. Is there any way for you to change the time of day in your system?
Yeah, but I would have to like basically cheat it. I would have to like go
No,
into my
just
system
no, just
settings.
just make it the opposite. Just be like set the time zone to Australia, so that's daytime over there. You're not cheating.
I guess so. I guess I could do that.
But you are right. It is as well. But you are correct in that considering your lifestyle and the time of day you play games, Animal Crossing is it does not work well for you.
Nope. Nope.
That's why Animal Crossing is only for women. It's only for women who don't have day jobs. That's just my that's just my opinion. Anyways, all right. I think that's enough Switch talk. I got put all my thoughts out there, and I am ready to talk some Dragon Ball. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's
Talk some
switch
Dragon
the
Ball.
topic.
All right. So of course we're gonna be returning back to Dragon Ball Daima, talking about hopefully effectively episodes 8 through 14. We got a whole bunch to go through, so we are not going to spending too much time on one episode for too long, and we're gonna be picked up where we last left off with Dragon Ball Daima episode 8. And I'm also glad to inform you folks that I finally have found a place where I can actually keep up to date with Daima as it is currently. And funny part is, I only had to go to any sketchy places. All I had to do was just go to Hulu, since Hulu's more up to date than Netflix.
Yeah.
That's just funny. All right, here we go. All right, so I am now. Since it has been a good number of weeks since I saw a majority of these episodes, so please forgive us if we miss out some details. A little wiki entry can only help out for so long. There we go. Messing with the there. Here we are. Got the little text above us. All right. So when we last left off in Dragon Ball Daima, we last left off with Goku, fighting our first Tamagami match, which is the one that he fought in the third Demon World. Now, now of course, I enjoyed, and I'll say this also for the next two ones. I enjoyed all the I want to say Tamagotchi, but Tamagami matches. I was gonna say Tamagotchi, but I got catch myself. I enjoyed all of them, and I do enjoy the fact that after you beat them in combat, you have to do some stupid mind puzzle or contest with them. I very much enjoy that aspect, and thank God that is kind of skipping ahead that Vegeta, who finally got a dub for once, did that second Tamagami fight.
Yeah.
But we'll get to talk about episode when we get there. So episode 8, Goku fights the Tamagami, wins, and of course was able to solve the puzzle with the Tamagami, saying, where is I think where the Dragon Ball is hidden. Which, by the way, Jack, if you can recall, did you call it and be like, he's not in any of those cups, he probably threw it somewhere else?
Yeah, I was thinking it was more like along the lines of he hit it somewhere else, underneath him. I didn't think he actually threw it away.
Yeah, I immediately knew that was gonna be the trick to the puzzle, because that's usually, especially in TV shows or movies, no one ever actually like hides a thing inside the cups. It's always going to be like, as a trick, going to trick you. It's somewhere else that you're never gonna think it is there. But that was basically the bulk of that episode. Again, it is when the show gets to its Z moments, it is very fun, very exciting, and I do love the fact that I believe I don't know I don't know who you mentioned this to, but I love the fact that the fights are beautifully animated, each and every one of them. So we don't, and because it's a more of a short series compared to previous Dragon Ball shows, you know, we get a better choreograph action moments as a result of that, and none of the looping animations that we're used to seeing from Z. I don't know about GT. I'm sure GT had them, and with Super, which that one is, man, that makes it a lot more obvious when that happens.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to remember. I was trying to remember who I talked to. I mentioned this to GK before we even went live.
Oh, that's right, you told him.
Yeah, but yeah, this is literally the time when I was like, okay, they're really making this look so nice. Like, I've been so happy with the way the art style is with this anime, the art direction, because it is beautiful. I love it.
Very much, and
It
all the character designs are all of them are fun. It's just so nice to see something that's kind of has that Dragon Ball look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so far it's been pretty fun.
we ain't quite getting the chubby Goku or that type of designs, but with like Toriyama, well, at the time Toriyama's current art style, it really fits. Of like, what if Toriyama now was drawing Dragon Ball like he did back then in the 80s?
Yes.
Some comments so far is that Ghetto says that Vegeta's fight really highlighted the difference between him and Goku's fighting style, which it very much shows. And but that was always very apparent, especially in the Broly movie, where you could tell that Vegeta, no technique. He's a big bruiser. That's what he is. Just keep hitting, go faster and harder than the other guy. Well, Goku's like a proper fighter. look at this. Look at Frieza's voice. Look at this monkey using techniques and shit.
Monkey.
He thinks he knows kung fu. And again, I wouldn't hold your breath to see if Piccolo fights. He should. We should see some Piccolo love, but I mean, he might be like Shin, where he does a few things, but I don't think we're gonna get like it. In my opinion, I don't think we're gonna get like a moment where we see Piccolo actually fight, which is a shame because I would love to see other characters get that treatment other than Goku and Vegeta. Let's see. As far as anything else that happened in this episode, we do get the start of Dr. Arensu creating her own Boo.
Yep.
So that was some nice little background info of how Majin Buu was even created in the first place. It was a witch. A witch created Majin Buu. I knew it. Only a witch could make something like that.
I like how this one's just named Majin Ku.
That's right. The Majin Ku, which I believe he shows up in the next episode. So we could talk about episode 9, but nonetheless, anything else you want to add about episode 8?
Not really. It was just the fight with the Tamagami and getting the Dragon Ball.
That's right. And so now we're jumping on to episode 9, and here we have the gang got their first Dragon Ball, and we also see I believe the first appearance of Majin Ku, who is a being that is a mixture of Majin and, of all things, Cyberman genetics.
Yeah, that one was very interesting.
That was a left field for me. I didn't think, because I was kind of spoiled of who Majin Ku was, but I didn't know how he came to be. And so when it was said that he was a mixture of Majin and Cyberman, I was like, oh, I haven't thought about Cyberman in years. And I guess it makes sense they would exist in Daima, Because don't Cybermen have pointy ears too? Or am I?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, let me double check because I don't know if I am Mandela affecting right now. Hold on, Cyber.
Yep, they do.
Yep, they have pointy ears, so they're demons confirmed. I wonder how they made up into the outside world of their demons in the first place. Oh, well, that's not important. I'm sure some Namek. You know what? Blame the Namekians. It's probably their fault. So, just reading that short synopsis, episode 9. I believe. Oh, the other group. So Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma, they finally make it to Daima, and so for next episode, we have that the running joke of them trying to catch up with Goku, which which as humorous as it was, I am glad they actually did meet up eventually and join together, because I thought the whole show was gonna be that the running gag would be they're always behind, or they just end up going on separate adventures. So considering that by the time they catch up with Goku, they're already in the second demon world. So I do like they actually join together and not try to keep teasing us of like, all right, no, you can do your own thing while we do our thing.
Yeah, but we're getting a little bit ahead.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's talk a little bit of basically the hotel scene. I actually did enjoy that little hotel scene.
That's right, the hotel. But that's the one where I remember they stay in the hotel. Some thieves try to take the Dragon Ball, and Goku's like, "Nah, give me that back." That was what it was, right?
Yes, I was actually very happy that it wasn't gonna get drawn out into some long 2 or 3 episode long thing where it's just like them trying to catch the Dragon Ball from what would relatively be slower enemies.
Yeah, but luckily that was just more for a gag than trying to extend the conflict of being like, you got the Dragon Ball, oh, you lost it. I don't know if you know what, it feels like something that GT would do. Can anyone confirm if GT
they did a lot?
Can anyone confirm if GT did an episode where the gang gets Dragon Ball, but then it gets immediately stolen, and so that conflict drags on as the characters try to grab the Dragon Ball that they lost? Don't confirm that for me.
That. I think I remember that whenever I was watching GT, and I kind of dropped the show because of that.
Oh man, I'm reading more of the synopsis. See what else happens in episode 9, and
also we can safely say we should never let Goku do anything.
Oh, that's right.
When it comes to like protecting something,
You're
man literally fell asleep on the job.
Yeah, he literally did. Which, yeah, I mean, can you blame him? He uses so much energy. He was gonna knock himself out one way or another. But yeah, it should have been Glorio. Yeah, he should have been the one to stay up all night. I think. Oh yes, Glorieda, not Galerio, not Gorio, not Galero.
Glorieda.
Glorieda. What else? Let's see. I think that's really it. We get the shenanigans at the hotel. The other group are finally arriving, and in this episode, I believe
Vegeta's group got their vehicle stolen.
Oh, that's right. After Vegeta beats up those people in that club that they were in.
You know, my thing is like, you got beat up, and then you go and fight them again. Did you not learn the first time whenever someone, a little child, hit you with the strength of
Was it the same
30 men?
Was it the same thieves?
If I'm correct, yeah.
I don't think it was, but I could be wrong. Let us know in the chat if it was the same thieves who stole the. Oh, it was.
It was. They just brought backup.
Oh, well, let's see. That's them learning.
like if so, and the reason I only say 30 men is because Vegeta was trying to not kill them.
Yeah, very, very much so.
And of course, I love the fact that the horse guy, I don't know why, I just like seeing him with like boxing gloves as if he's gonna do anything.
Oh, that's right. And then Vegeta just schools him like it's nothing. And they were able to get their ship back, right? Yeah, they were able to get their ship back. Other than that, oh, and I think so the last episode there was a start of making Majin Buu, but this one, Majin Buu is properly made, and so it ends with him going up to fight against the first world Tamagami.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's majority of what happens. I don't know if it's in this episode or in the next one, but I'm surprised people are not bringing it up because it's like a funny detail about Vegeta and Bulma's relationship. Was it this episode that Hibis was like, he was pretty much like telling Bulma, it's like, hey, do you want to be a couple? I don't know, was this episode or the next one?
I think it was probably this one.
Yeah, I think I believe he asked him to be a couple. Bulma politely rejects no. Vegeta, of course, gets a little jealous. Is like, hey, don't you be talking to my woman like that. And I forgot what. Somehow the conversation turns to him as asking Vegeta, ask Vegeta, like Vegeta, is like, so you like women with big breasts, and Vegeta didn't deny it.
Yeah, he did not deny it. I'm like, damn.
And I'm like, it's like, I see. That's the Prince of All Saiyans likes his milk. That's probably why he went with Bulma. He saw him like, he's like, yes, she would. In the Saiyan mind, he's probably going, yes, I think this woman will definitely feed my children well. I thought it was both cute and endearing, and you know what adds to like why Vegeta even hooked up with Bulma in the first place. He saw her, and he's like, especially with the hairdo she had at the time, remember, with the afro, which I think is a good look on Bulma. Vegeta was like, no, my mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. So I thought that was a cute and funny moment, and with that, anything more that happened in episode 9? I believe that was it. The hotel.
That was pretty much it.
Yep. The gang, the other half of the group arrives, and it ends with we're about to see Majin Buu fight against the Tamagami, which goes into episode 10. So finally we're getting closer. We're now in the double digits, so we're getting closer to what I kind of remember more freshly from the past few episodes. So it starts off, Ku challenges the first world Tamagami, and if I recall, I want to say with Ku, I find him very endearing.
He is definitely very.
He's a
very wholesome.
He's a very wholesome and positive outlook looking demon.
Yeah,
which I do like that contrast, because you would think, especially with a mixture of Majin Buu's DNA and a Cyberman, you would think he would be more monstrous. But if anything, he's kind of like I won't say ghetto. He's just a guy. It's more so he's chill for the most part. He's chill.
A hype man, actually.
Oh yeah, especially when we get to I guess you could say his brother. When we get to him, he's chill and he's a hype man, and he's not one to always want to be the center of attention. Which I'm like, you know what? This Majin's all right. This Majin's all right. Unfortunately, though, he does struggle with trying to fight that Tamagami, and in that same episode, he he loses, and Dr. Adensu has to go back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm. You know, actually, now that I know, let me see which one was it. He reminds me of the Gammas, specifically Gamma Two. He kind of gives me that same vibe of Gamma Two.
Oh man, I've only saw the movie once, so I don't remember exactly how the Gamma's personality are in superhero. But I take
Gamma
your word
One
for it.
was the more serious one, and Gamma Two was the one that sacrificed himself
I'll take your word for it.
during the last fight.
I'll take your word for it. I might have to rewatch that movie to remember how they were as characters because I don't. Uh,
Like, of course, without the whole justice thing, but other than that, like he just had that general same vibe to me.
I see, I see. And so, and after we have the Tamagami fight, we then cut to our heroes finally entering the second demon world, big old ocean, and in probably one of the more, I guess, more frightening aspects of the demon world when they get attacked by the Kraken.
Oh, it was apparently in this episode where they're talking about the "Would you like to be my girlfriend?"
I was,
comment.
oh well, it was. I knew it was around this part of the show, so I was in the ballpark of being correct. But this one, I do what?
Sorry, I was looking at the same exact part, like, "Oh, you like
Oh.
big boobs, Dad," and then he's like, "Shut up, be quiet." Piccolo in the background. Looks like he was right.
Well, yeah. So, but on this episode, we see the Kraken for the first time as we enter the second demon world, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Ever since, see, for number one, seeing the Kraken from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, of course, Jaws, and I've never seen this movie, but there's the scene from I think is a Netflix animated movie called I think Big Red Fish or something like that.
Mhm.
And there's a scene in which, of all things, I think that's the best scene that encapsulates how frightening an underwater monster is. And it's a very simple done scene. Maybe the folks might know what I'm talking about. Where you have your main, they're like these characters. They're like stranded. They jump off their boat and they're stranded in the ocean. And as they're underwater, they look at this monstrous sea creature. I think the titled redfish, and he just looks up and just stares. And he's so far away deep into the depths of the ocean, but you could tell that this is a gigantic monster. And he just looks, and then he slowly just swims back into the depths where he disappears. And like I said, I've never seen this movie. I don't even know if it's good, but that scene sold me on like, oh god, the idea of underwater sea monsters, and the Kraken does a good job of showing the scale and how massive and frightening those type of monsters are.
Yeah, the thalassophobia of it. That's what makes me so terrified of like deep, deep ocean waters.
Yeah, or the or if for example, if there was like if you want to do like because it's kind of similar like when you do eldritch horror monsters, I always envision and you can steal this idea because I don't think I'm gonna do anything with it. But always envision where all of a sudden you see the sky turn black all of a sudden, and somehow the characters are able to get out of Earth's atmosphere into space to see what the heck is going on. And all you see is that the reason why the sky turns black is because it's the iris of the monster that's looking. And to me, I'm like, oh god, that's no, it's like that's like that's too much. The like the just the iris of a monster covers the entire sky. That's frightening to me.
I remember seeing a video online which was I think it was like a compilation of like the that one phobia of like very very large things. I forgot if it was no, it's a different name to it. But uh basically it was like this eldritch horror looking monster squid thing that the person was filming in the daytime, and they kind of see it getting near the moon, and it just like eats it in one bite, and then it's like starts slow, like very quickly coming towards the earth. And I'm like, if something like that happened, I think I would just be like, all right, well, this is the end for us.
Yep, that's it. There's nothing we could do. There's no Fantastic Four to save us.
Oh, very sidetracking, but I wanted to ask you,
Ja.
a lot of Marvel heroes just assholes?
Only in the Ultimate Universe.
Okay, that makes sense
Yeah,
because like
the only heroes I could tell you that are for sure like they're jerks and very people in the story actually like him is Wolverine.
mm-hmm.
I'll count Deadpool even though technically he's an anti-hero. So Wolverine, Deadpool. For some people, Spider-Man. For some people, Spider-Man.
I
And
could see it, I guess.
Tony.
Yeah, that one I can very much see.
Namor.
Yep,
Definitely
yep.
Namor. And just for one more, if I can think of one, and uh, actually, no, those are the ones that generally they're characterized where either everyone sees them as a jerk or a majority of people do see them as a jerk. Those are the
Because
five I
like
could think about.
because I remember when I was playing Marvel Rivals, Miss Saren came on, and I was just like talking mostly about like the skins and like the the things I've been listening in about the what they do in the comics. I'm like, yeah, so like so this is Mr. Fantastic, and then this is also Mr. Fantastic, but this one they name him the Maker, and you see this helmet? That's not just a helmet, that's his head.
Yep, he grew his
And
brain, his big brain.
and this man basically is like multiversal dangerous because he's an incel. And I say, yes, this is a very gross oversimplification of a lot of things, but
But no, it's accurate.
the but the incel part, like the incel gave him enough motive to like destroy multiple universes.
And to be fair, he also was, for as genius as he is, he wasn't that bright. He like in that
My
universe he's
God,
from, he literally tried to propose to Sue on her
I literally
dad's funeral.
I was talking about that. I'm like, someone, and I was telling her, like, yeah, someone died. I don't remember who it was, but someone died. And then, like,
It was Sue.
this man literally looks at Sue and is like, would you marry me? Like, and with the comic panel, it's like him looking at the ring and then just like kind of hands it out to her, like as if handing out like a Twinkie or just some sort of snack. And he just looks at it again. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you?
I kid you not. In that universe, only like Spider-Man's like the only not jerk in that world. And it's what happens when you make comics in from the early 2000s and get a bunch of edgelord writers.
Like, see, becoming an incel makes you evil.
Exactly. That's your life lesson today, folks. You either you you either die a hero or live long enough to be an incel.
But like,
Quote Harvey Dent.
and like, but yeah, I was just like, and then um, as soon as I was like in the middle of like combat with Mr. Fantastic, I look at Namor and I'm like, look at this dude. And because I noticed that in Marvel Rivals, Namor has like these little, I forgot what they're called, but they look like the Greek gods. Was it Hermes? His boots where they have like little wings on it.
Oh, yep.
I
That's what.
didn't know he can float down. So I see him floating down, like, look at his dude's shoes. Look at him. They're so stupid. And then Miss Saren just like, why are you making fun of him? Because he's an asshole.
Oh yes, they were.
This man's an asshole. Literally, you can have Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, and then Namor in the same room, and Namor will be like, "Hey, why don't you just like cheat on your husband? Just come with me." Over and over and over again, like, and then all she says was like, "Oh yeah, never mind. I apologize. I didn't know that."
Oh man. And the best part, if he wasn't as much of a jerk as he was in the early days, he might have had a chance before Sue hooked up with Reed. He like it was slim, but he had a chance. And I'm sure he forever kicks himself in the back because if he just didn't act like a jerk for 2 seconds, Susan Storm could have been the queen of Atlantis. But no, he had to have a hate boner for humanity. Oh man. Anyways, let's go back to Dragon Ball. I do want to say, Jack, I do have Marvel Rivals installed, and I would love to play a game with you or anyone soon because I want to try it out.
My question is,
Yeah.
this: Why did you download Marvel Rivals and then proceed to play Overwatch 2?
Because it was free and I didn't really play it. I just installed it and got it ready because I found some other people I know who played. I was like, all right, I don't mind.
You broke my heart.
Oh, shut up.
you broke my heart, Tony.
Okay,
You broke my heart.
Okay, Padme. You're breaking my heart. Oh man,
You were like a brother to me.
You were the chosen one.
You were the chosen one. You were supposed to bring balance to the hero shooters, not leave it in darkness.
Oh man, but not. But yeah, it's just for a different people who I don't mind playing that game with them. It's not like I gotta be playing all the time.
True.
Any case,
all right, let's go back into it.
Back to Dragon Ball. We could move on to episode 11 because I think we didn't get too much. Basically, Ku loses. They enter the second demon world. They get attacked by the Kraken. It's a close call. It's a really close call. And I believe Shin pretty much does a lot of exposition about I guess more about Daima, if I'm correct.
Technically about the Glens, his race, and like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and also the highest authority in the universe. Let me see. What was his name? I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to look at it.
Oh, it's like I think it says here. Shin tells the group about the Namek situation, his past, and how the multiple universes were created by a Majin named Rimus.
Yeah, Rimus.
So I wonder how that connects with the what's the Omni God's name again? What's the little kid's name?
Omni King Zeno.
I wonder how that connects with Zeno. I'm guessing because
I feel like he's never, above Zeno.
It could because Zeno never said he rules over the multiverse, but he didn't create it. So
yeah.
so far this doesn't contradict anything. It could be that Rimus, I think Rimus literally God, like the capital G God of Dragon Ball, and just be like spoke the world of Dragon Ball into existence, which I'm surprised Toriyama did that. Establishing that lore. He's like, here is the actual creator of this world, and this is his name, and he is a Majin.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is funny because Majin just means a sorcerer.
You know that makes sense that a sorcerer in the world Dragon Ball, like a lot of things are run by magic, so it will be a magician who would have created the world. Which the only piece of fiction I could think of in which a world was made via a sorcerer or magic, one I can think of is, oddly enough, a weird connection. The Chronicles of Narnia. So there's
You're gonna have to
that.
remind me a good chunk of that if you're gonna go into it because it's been a while.
Well, that depends. Have you actually read any of the books?
Oof.
Yeah, then no, I'm not gonna go into it then, because you need to have at least read The Magician's Nephew.
Also, I'm gonna make a quick correction for myself. So in certain cases, some people say Majin as in sorcerer, but apparently the raw translation.
The
There's
Raw.
several of them. Several of them.
Give it to
One
us
of them
raw.
is devil, evil spirit, and then there's also it's also another word for kami, god, or deity.
Oh,
Oh no, that's see also in Japanese. Never mind. So yeah, it's either devil or evil spirit.
for Majin.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. But of course, you gotta look from a Japanese perspective. A demon does not really correlate to what we view as demons. Like in their eyes,
Mm-hmm.
this is the one thing I kind of wish Shin Megami Tensei would fix in terms of translation, because they call everything a demon, including angels and angelic beings. When reality, the better translation instead of demons would be either demigods or just spiritual entities.
Yeah. So like it has a lot of uh different ways to say it, but from what I get, it's basically like demon god.
Yeah, demon. You could say the demon king. So
Yeah.
yeah, you go. You catch my drift. Um, so with that, we established how the world of Dragon Ball is created, and Shin knew this all along. But
Nope.
I guess it wasn't relevant until now. Like it's a need to know basis. He reveals his information. He talks a little bit of how how the Nameks they migrated into what we now know as Universe 7, away from Daima, and that and that it was another demon king that forced the Glins to also leave Daima, and that pretty much that Shin, Dr. Arinsu, and the other Shin's brother, I forget his name, and with Kibito, and I guess and also Elder Kai, they are effectively the last of their kind.
Yep.
Yep, good thing to live a long
Well,
time.
if I'm correct,
Well, the last of their kind in Universe 7, because we still got the Supreme Kai. What was it? What was one from? What was that universe that Zamasu was from?
6.
Yeah, was it 6?
Oh wait, no.
Well, the universe that he's from.
It was a universe, but
Yeah.
even then, like, I thought the trees were still active. They just take forever.
According to this, it was that this is that the five. Shin reveals that the 5 trees the Glen bore from have died, so that they can no longer reproduce.
Ah, gotcha.
And thank you, Ghetto. He confirms that what was it? That Zamasu is from Universe 10.
Gotcha.
All right. So so a very half of the episode progress in the story, and half of it providing background exposition on the world of Daima and how that affects the greater world of Dragon Ball as we know it. So there we go. A lot of lore. So a good amount of lore dumps in this episode. So I think we can move on to episode 11.
Mm-hmm.
Our episode 11. We're here. Episode 10 actually it ends where the group they themselves get to personally meet the oldest living Namekian to exist, Neva, who is, as we come to learn, especially in the next episodes, is a turns out to be a key player in this story. He is a lot more important as the episodes continue on.
Man's doing the old Yoda tactic here.
Oh, very, very, very much so. Especially when you first see him. Although he doesn't act childish, he just acts senile.
Yeah, which is funny enough. Piccolo instantly pick up on that. He's just like, yeah, you can stop it.
Well, yeah, he's the smart, like excluding Bulma, who has expertise in machines. He's the other smart character in the group, so he would see through that stuff.
Yeah, I guess you could say he's like the. Well, what do people do whenever they want to pit other characters against each other? He has that high battle IQ.
Exactly. He knows how to get. You know, he's the one that gives good commentary in a fight. And I mean, think about it. Think about it. That's what he most like. Once after the Cell stuff, and he's fight with 17, he just provides commentary with all the matches.
There's always that one person that, like, if they really push themselves, they can be really, really powerful, but they just end up doing commentary.
Yeah, or because of retirement or whatever. And then they always say something like, "Oh, he's holding back his energy. I could tell he wasn't like this when I fought him." Okay, so episode 11, Neva shows himself to the group, and he shares with the gang that he created the Tamagamis, and that also, much like the Namekian Dragon Balls, if you want to use the Daima Dragon Balls, you have to speak in Namekian. And which actually, I know Piccolo himself doesn't, but since he's already fused with Kami, wouldn't he know how to speak Namekian as well?
It's basically this. I'm pretty sure it's gotten to a point where he hasn't spoken in so long, and it just like
that's
doesn't
actually
remember it.
funny enough.
Plus,
That's kind
also
of
Kami is
that's pretty.
Kami's not the unknown or unnamed Namekian.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Nail. I forgot about Nail. He definitely shouldn't have Namekian, but you're right. If you don't speak a language for so long, you do tend to forget it. I'm evidence of that. Because fun fact, my first language was actually Spanish.
Really?
Yep. You can blame the American education system for that one. or they did their job too well.
This is why my parents always like spoke in Spanish around all of us. They just said, you're gonna learn it, and you're gonna learn it now.
my parents didn't do that, and they pretty much would say they would do that, but never actually follow through. Because it got annoying for all of us saying, we don't know what you're saying. And so they just kind of like, oh, fine, whatever. It's like, you know it. So it's like, okay, that type of argument. And I know where the biblioteca is. The question is, Johnny, where's your biblioteca? That's what I thought.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
How do you say "Donde está la biblioteca" in Portuguese? I'll look up. You know what? As you, I'm gonna look at it right now while you talk about what else happens in episode 11.
So, let's see. We do end up getting after the bad fight when it came to Majin Ku. Which, hey, I'm gonna say this: he didn't do that badly. It's just that he was smart enough to say, "I'm done." Like this is the reason why I do like Majin Ku. It's just the fact that he has the smarts. Like if of course if this fight was one of those to the deaths, and once when you started you can't stop it, I'm pretty sure he would have done everything he can. But since these fights with the Tamagamis, it's like if you surrender, you surrender. They stop fighting. He literally just goes, "I'm done. That's it." So meanwhile, while everyone's talking, while the heroes are talking with Neva and just trying to get information, Arinsa's already going into back to the witch and trying to make another Majin to see if this one will fare better in the fight.
Also,
And
hold your thought
mhm.
there, Jack. I found a translation, so you won't hear it, but I'm gonna play it, Johnny, and I'm going to butcher the heck out of this pronunciation. So get your ears ready. So hear how it sounds.
Onde fica a biblioteca?
Onde fica a biblioteca? There you go, Johnny. All right.
Babidi boobidi.
Bibbidi boobidi bobbidi bobbidi.
Che cosa?
Bibbidi boobidi bobbidi bob. Oh, that's I don't know how they get to Italian.
I don't know why you went.
Hold on.
It's just the accent you added.
It's because the accent that the program had. Again, that is.
Onde fica a biblioteca?
Onde fica a biblioteca? There you go.
Mod ban anyone speaking Portuguese. Exactly. Man's gonna wake. It's gonna be sleeping. He's like,
mods banned the Brazilians. All right, there you go. Little joke.
Chemicals in the water that make the Brazilians Italian.
All right. That's enough of that. Let's continue on. So, yeah, Majin Ku, he, what's the word looking? The word you just used. He steps down because he knew he can't win this fight. Dr. Rensu then creates another Majin creature. I believe this time, I think she dug the seed like deeper into the soil of the cauldron,
which was a very risky move from what the witch said, but it paid off, and they made Majin Do.
Yep, Majin D. That's Majin. That's Majin 2, by the way.
Is it going by the French de, or no?
Just by not spelling, but pronunciation. De, yeah.
Okay.
Majin D.
Pretty. See, as we now know, and it's been confirmed, the French are the devil.
Well, I mean, did we need Dragon Ball to tell us that?
True.
You know what? Maybe the French people originally were from the demon world. It explains their funny. It explains why they're always in a revolution every few decades or so. All right, so Majin Buu is created, and just like with Majin Buu, also he loves the chocolate, chocolate and all that. And
I think it's basically because of the fact that
the
closer you are to the main liquid, the more of the personality you take from that original specimen.
Very much so. And so then and it will be soon enough that Do is then up to challenge the Tamagami of the first demon world. And at the same time, while this is happening, Goku and the rest of the gang reach the Tamagami of the second world, and Vegeta steps up to the plate and challenges it to a fight for the Dragon Ball. And so for the next few episodes, we have dual fights going on as Majin Du fights against the first Demon World Tamagami, and Vegeta fighting against the second Demon World Tamagami. And that episode ends with Vegeta getting swallowed by the Kraken.
Yep.
Oh no! Will he die? Well, actually, you know what's funny? I joke about that, but considering this is Dragon Ball, someone could actually die. It won't have too much consequence, but that could still happen.
True, and if they die, do they go to the demon world? I know it's a joke, but like they technically go to hell still, but
no, they don't.
Aren't they technically in hell?
No, they go to see King Yemma,
which then they send him into the Soul Cleanser.
No, he decides where they go to heaven or go to hell.
I forgot. I could have sworn that there was no technically hell because in the their souls get cleansed.
No, there
recycled.
there is a hell. I mean, we see Frieza in hell.
because he refused to get soul cleansed.
I've made that part of the soul cleansing. I am not sure about that. Is that established in Z or is that a super thing?
I think that was in the manga.
I see. Well, I'm not aware of any soul cleansing. That could be something that's added later, because especially if you read or watch Z, it treats it more like how heaven and hell works in Christianity. Just King Yama gets to decide whether you go up or down.
Oh, here it is. Soul cleansing machine. Oh wait, nope, never mind.
Johnny says, get in the purgatory shower, Frieza." Never. You'll never make me like those filthy monkeys.
Never mind. This one's from a movie, but there was a part where he mentioned that. I think it was right after whenever Vegeta asked him if he was gonna go to heaven.
And he said, "Nah."
Like,
nah.
no, you're gonna go to hell. They're gonna fix your soul and then reincarnate you.
Is that what happened to Boo? So that Oob can be born?
I think so.
Jai says,
at the same time.
Hold on. Jai says, bro, he's the excuse he has for the monkey's life. Oh man. Any case, we're kind of getting distracted. So back to 11. All right. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. So back to 11. Anything we want to add in terms of, because I'm trying to remember more stuff that happens in this episode besides just kind of reciting what happens. Kind of getting more detail aside just telling them this happened and then this happened.
I do like this is where we can technically talk a little bit more of how Vegeta's combat is compared to Goku's.
Yeah, and which is something, among the many different shows and movies, is very consistent of how Vegeta is supposed to fight. And even in the Dragon Ball Fighters, I do like his quarter circle special. It's literally just him just throwing a barrage of ki blasts. like no Galaga or no Galaga or anything like that. The man just want to spam ki blasts all day.
Yeah, he is very much someone that likes to use ki blasts a lot, which makes sense because, I mean, being in the planet Vegeta, they don't exactly. I mean, they do probably have their own type of martial arts, but it most likely adds in ki blast into that martial arts.
I do find it interesting though that in regards to how Daima, the world of Daima, that ki as a concept is not a thing, and that every time that Pansy sees what Goku Vegeta does, she assumes it's magic.
Yeah, which is very interesting. I mean, to kind of go off into a tangent, it just reminds me of how from a recent anime I was watching, which was, let me look at the name of it. Where is it? Continue watching. The Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world.
Oh, that show. Okay, I am aware what that is.
Where basically, I mean, the world is fantasy, so you would think, oh yeah, mana and everything. But then, whenever they spoke about the Red Ranger's suit, is like, yeah, I don't see any type of mana emanating from it, but like apparently there's something working through it. So, and even then, Daima, they explained the whole thing of like, it's like an energy from within. I assume that anyone can still technically do it, even the people of the demon world. They just need to practice it.
Probably. That's most likely how it works. Which is even funny, even for a magical world like Daima, it never occurred to them that they can harness this power, because even people on Earth figure this out, even before Goku.
Yeah, I mean, which is like, it's pretty interesting. I would want to see a hybrid of that, like where someone that uses both ki and magic. But then
That'll
then
make
there'll be like a whole explanation of how,
like what's the
like with
difference?
Key, it does. Yeah, and like how would it be with using mana, or even if there is would using magic use up some kind of mana system, or would it also use up Key?
These are the questions that that should be left to
Should
the
not be answered.
no, it should be left to the fantasy authors to figure out, because this is how I would do it. All right, this is how you know the difference. They're not really different. You just use them differently. So if you want to use Ki, you gotta have a strong body of mind. If you want to use magic, you just gotta literally say the magic words.
I can't wait till some random artist makes a dojin of like Goku being trapped in another dimension for 1,000 years and ends up learning how to use magic.
And he says the magic words, bibbidi bobbidi boo.
And destroys half the universe.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what the manga artist dojin artists. You hear that? We need a panel in which Goku says to the top of his lungs, "Bibbidi bobbidi boo." Wow, he's in which Super Saiyan form is he in?
Super Saiyan Infinity. There you go.
Yeah,
make it edgy.
He's in Super Saiyan Infinite with Ultra Instinct.
With the extra hair,
and he
gotta add that extra hair,
and he says "bibbidi bobbidi boo" at the top of his lungs, and the dark universe is then destroyed, and Goku then is able to come back as he uses the instant transmission to go back to Universe 7.
It's just like so. I'm trying to get back into reading Kakume, but seeing that one, like, don't get me wrong, it's amazing art, but seeing Goku trapped in this, God knows what type of universe this is, trapped in like thousands of chains and going, Whis, how dare you? It's like,
Whis, you filthy rat.
I'm like, no. Why is he always trapped in 1,000 years? They can never make him happy. It's kind of like the Spider-Man thing. They just don't want Goku to be happy. They always want him to snap.
because that's how you sell. That's how you get it. We gotta see our heroes suffer, or and see them overcome their struggles. Why do you think people love Berserk so much? You think it's because they want to see him be happy with Casca?
Oh.
No, they want to see Guts struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle, and then by the end say, it was okay. As he lays down on the floor, struggling to exist, and the story doesn't really resolve, and there's no happy ending because it's real life. There's no happy endings in real life, Jack. Don't you know that's how the world is? You struggle. I can't.
That just reminded me of something. So, you know how with TikTok, it went away, came back. And one of the first few videos I saw when it came back was one of those trends where you search up something on the search engine, and then like the first thing you see will be, I guess, your personality or your character. Someone said, I heard that if you put DBZ on the search bar and then the first character you have on the search bar is you, and they got Vegito. I'm like, okay, that's kind of BS, but all right, fine. Let me see what I get. You want to know what I got?
What'd you get?
Guts.
See, the world wants you to struggle.
The world wants me to struggle. We live in a society.
There's a Joker moment, Johnny. But Jack said it, not me. No, you know what it is? It gotta be like, no, you gotta struggle. You gotta eat $1 ramens every breakfast, dinner, and lunch. in that order.
Now I gotta go on to.
You gotta work 3 different jobs.
I gotta go to a tattoo shop and then do that little sign that.
You put it on. You gotta write in love and hate on your fingers as you make a fist. And be like and be like to say to the world, I have love and hate on my body. As you beat someone up, they go, I love you, I hate you, I hate you.
Let's see.
And then you're like,
do I love you? Do I hate you? Let's see by the sound of how many ribs I break.
And it goes, I do this because they are truly not different. I love you and I hate you. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's go back to Dragon Ball. I have no idea where I'm taking this joke. It's bit.
We're going too far in the edge.
We're not over the edge yet. We got. And if I could, as soon as I said that, I would do this just for Johnny. I would play a clip of the wrestler Edge as he does a spear over someone in the ring. I would do that just for Johnny. I'd be like, there, we went over the edge.
Now, how edgy are we gonna be? Are we gonna be Linkin Park edge, or are we gonna go Creed edge, where we kind of be cringy with it? Just like as soon as as soon as you're knocked down, you get back up and you're like, you only hear the song going.
No, better. We play Creep by Radiohead. That's how edgy we go. and we use what's that anime? We use Tokyo. We put in a Tokyo Ghoul AMV.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah, that's how edgy we go. All right, moving on from what some of you did when you were 13 in high school. I didn't do that. Maybe one of you do.
Nah. We went from edgy to even more edge, because you know what the title of this next episode is?
For episode 12?
Yes.
I see it's True Strength.
True Strength. I'll show you true strength.
There you go. Episode 12. Then we said all we can on episode 11.
Exactly, Johnny. You have to embrace it.
That was good, Johnny. That was good. Ghetto says you don't know Real Edge. Real Edge is Last Caress by Misfits. No, Ghetto. Real Edge is filming yourself next to your personal library and getting a book that's full of literally made up Bible stuff and go, this is the Bible the church doesn't want you to read. That's a real thing that happened by one of the singers of the band Misfits. He filmed himself thinking he was being so edgy, reading off of what's literally just made up Bible fan fiction and thinking the church doesn't want you to know this.
And then the very end of the song is just Creed again going, hold me now, I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking.
But then we all are saved, because as Creed begins to go down, we then hear the song, we hear Nickelback bring us back up. We rise as a hero can save us. Watching his wings fly away. He's watching us. Fly away. Alright, episode 12, Daima. Vegeta flies away from the Kraken. And continues his fight with the Tamagami. So does Do. And there is a funny moment where he actually stops the fight because he wants more chocolate.
Man, doesn't even the Tamagami didn't even stop the fight. He just like, well, I guess this is an easy kill.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm confusing. I'm confused with what happened, but yeah, he keeps beating him up, and Do is like, I want chocolate. I do like how Do defeats the Tamagami. In many words, he just kind of rope-a-dopes him.
Yep.
It's like, I can't beat you, so I'll just make you get tired. But yeah, that's a strategy. That's a real strategy. If it works, it works. Gotta tire your opponent out. So
I mean, even then, he technically did do like a pretty serious damage to him because he just blasted him constantly.
that is true. He somehow tired a machine. You figured out how that works?
And also, can we just say, since we're
Yes.
talking about that fight, how lucky our heroes are to not do the first world Tamagami?
You're right. So because of that, that puts a little wrench in how you think the story's gonna progress. Because till this far, to 12 episodes in, you're thinking, oh, okay, then the heroes will then fight the first world Tamagami, and they get all the Dragon Balls, and then there will be a big final boss fight. Oh no, not exactly, because there's other players in the field, and so now the stakes have risen because now one of the villains, who is also a villain for the villain, has a Dragon Ball, and everything's gonna be coalescing as everyone everyone is coming to the first demon world, which means that it's either I'm gonna guessing it's probably gonna be either a very hype and epic climax to the show, or a very hype and funny climax to the show, is everyone's trying to fight each other for 3 Dragon Balls. I feel like it's gonna be the latter. That it's gonna be just a whole mess of everyone trying to figure out what's going on.
Here's something that I think. Okay, so this is gonna be. There's 2 hypotheses that I have. So the first one is for this big final climax where they fight, where they're gonna probably end up fighting the Majins, the Do and Ku. Somehow the Majins will end up fusing, and then of course Vegeta and Goku would respond, and they would make their new transformation.
So you're making a guess we're gonna see mini Gogeta.
Yeah, maybe. Or here's my other one. That's kind of stupid, but kind of runs along the lines of like what Toriyama could do, especially with the vibes of this whole thing.
Or
Somehow in the fight,
uh-huh.
Goku ends up misplacing, dropping, or like ends up not catching the thing he needs. Like something happens with his bag of bugs, and then Do and Ku accidentally eat the transformation bug, and they transform, leaving the others kind of like SOL, and having to find a way to beat a transformed Majin Kudu. I don't know.
No, Majin Dooku.
Majin Dooku.
Do it. The show. I want my Majin Dooku.
Majin Dooku.
if they
And then Majin Dooku fights Neva,
and
the Yoda of the cast.
and then it turns out Toriyama did this just so he can make some Star Wars jokes. Oh man.
But like going off away from the potential theories here, because there's still plenty of episodes to go through. Like they're gonna still make. I think Ghetto said it was 28.
Yes, you are correct. So if we're going by that, we're literally only halfway through the show.
Mm-hmm.
And also you can't also rule out that again the climax will be more comedic than action, and something could happen where Do and Ku are just like, all right, we don't want to fight you guys anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, because the show did establish a lot that despite how Goma looks, that he's very powerful. Mm-hmm. So there could be something where maybe everyone kind of has to team up to take down Goma, because he is the much more bigger and more immediate threat. But again, who knows? It could all be a big joke, and you can have something like the very first arc of Dragon Ball, where the Daima Shenron is summoned. Neva says something in Namekian, and what ends up happening, the characters go back to normal, and you know what it could be? Hibis wishes for something mundane as the final wish, thus preventing Goma from doing his wish. I could see that happening, because there has to be a reason why they're bringing Hibis along this entire journey, aside from being just more comedic relief. Like I expect him to do some mundane wish, like he wishes for more chips or something, and that will be
for a mud flavor ice cream.
There we go. He wishes for that, and that ends up saving the demon world. I'll be more disappointed if that type of scenario doesn't happen. More so if there isn't some like big fight.
Oh, but to also go back to the fight itself. But the reason why I said that the heroes are lucky that they're not gonna do the first world Tamagami fight was because of that last task that the two Majins had
that's
to do.
right. It was the math problem.
The math problem that was literally impossible for any human to do.
Yes.
Because at first you're like, oh, okay, I could do this. 1, 2. Like, I've seen kids in China, they just, like, end up doing these crazy things with their hands, gang signs with their hands, and they just, like, say, 42. Nah, this one was like, okay, manageable. Okay, that's a bit fast. Okay, that's not fair.
Yep. And it wasn't even a trick question. You literally had to add up all the numbers.
And the only and like this went into this whole thing where like sure you could say, oh, but Bulma could probably do it. No, she couldn't.
No.
Mostly because of the rules that were in place. The person that challenged had to be the person that actually answered the problem.
Exactly. So
without any help.
Exactly. So there's no way Goku, Vegeta, or even Piccolo will be able to solve that math problem. So thank God the villains are there to do the hard part for our heroes.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
That would be.
This is the part where we kind of say like. This is the part where I kind of say that Majin Ku is such a nice guy because he literally did not fight over getting any credit. And Majin Du was able to hear what Majin Ku said and just said the answer right there and then. That is like, so what was that twin telepathy type of stuff, even though they weren't born at the same time.
Now that's what you call a real bro right there. That's a real bro. Du and Ku, they're real bros. They look out for each other. Ain't trying to get the glory. They're like, we're just here to have fun and do whatever this sexy doctor lady tells us to do. Isn't that all we want in life? Just to hang out with our bros and occasionally hang out with a sexy doctor.
Yep.
It's not all our dreams. Hey, well,
I'm with the science team.
Oh, so episode 12 also, this episode got a lot of buzz when it came out, and that's because, of course, for the first time in animation and in a proper canon Dragon Ball show, we finally get to see Vegeta turn Super Saiyan 3. And it is Vegeta looking like Super Saiyan 3. The hair, the no eyebrows. It's a good look, and of course I use it in the thumbnail because as far as from people who are more into Z and Super, this is a moment for them. They got their technically new form for Vegeta, even if the form itself is not new. It's new, that it's something we still haven't seen. So there you go. So we do have some new transformations in this show. Technically.
I also do like the way that this Super Saiyan 3 is still different from Goku's, because Goku's has his hair much longer and kind of drapes down
And
Meanwhile,
he has that one weird banana bang.
yeah.
And
Then with Vegeta's, it's actually more. Yes, it grows, but it's more like it stands on the end. It literally does stand on the end,
yeah,
more like a porcupine's.
and no bangs either. You got no
No
bangs.
Man has no bangs. Pure 1000% widow's peak, no bangs.
The widow's peak it becomes peaker.
You're not dealing with the average widow's peak. You're dealing with the super widow's peak.
Frieza. So, and we get to see it. So you get to see Vegeta rock the Super Saiyan 3 look, and with that, he is able to defeat the Tamagami, and of course, but the real challenge was the puzzle he had to solve, which the one he gets is you know what it is basically a question you'll get in like a school test to test if you're really paying attention to what you're reading.
Yeah, like, ugh.
Like
I was getting lost with the.
as soon as they're going more into details, I'm like, okay, you know what it is? The math one earlier, because Do finishes his fight first in the show. You know, it prepares you to think, oh, okay, it's gonna be more straightforward questions, but it'll be so absurd that you can't answer it. Then you see the second real time Agami does who do his question. You kind of expecting that, only to realize, oh no, this is a trick question. He's like,
I mean, even then, it's like, yeah, it's a trick question, but at the same time, Vegeta just happened to luck himself onto it.
we're talking about luck.
Because
He figured it out. I mean,
No, he did not. He did it. He gave his own logic about it, saying like, "Oh, snakes can't eat cookies, so 0."
I mean, he's not. I mean, it's still one.
And he got it right. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, he got it wrong." And then the Tamagami's like, "Oh, you're correct. Yep, you got it."
Yeah, of course snakes don't eat cookies. What do you think? What do you think they do? Also, I love how they added a piece of dialogue to clarify that snakes did exist on planet Vegeta, so he knows what a snake is.
And the fact that he just like, I mean, I love the fact that Vegeta's pride is like so important to him, to where he's like, "Yeah, I knew all along. Yeah, totally. Yeah, shut up. Don't question me."
I know my snakes. The snake master.
Yeah.
That's both fights though were both fun for their own reasons, and I do love how we're shaking things up a bit, and things aren't going according to plan, at least for the heroes end. And of course, with the first 12 episodes, the heroes have been a lot more active in the story, while the villains, mostly Goma, he's just being more observant, due to the fact that up until what episode, I think it was either 11 or 10, is then he then actually, oh wait, no, was it the next episode that Goma actually realizes that, oh crap, they got 2 Dragon Balls already?
Yep.
Yeah.
Technically, I think he even realized that they have all 3 because of the fact that Arinsu was already getting the first one.
That's right. That's right. So it's here where the villains start to become actually more active as we're coming into the second half of the show. So which means I'm thinking, especially at the latest episode, which we'll talk about when we get there. I think we're gonna end. I think we're probably, unless there's throw a loop to how the story goes, we're probably almost done with the more Dragon Ball adventure aspect of the story, and we could be going into more stuff like we kind of see in Z and maybe later Dragon Ball, where it's more about trying to overcome the villain and establishing the stakes that are at hand, rather than going on this adventure. That's what I'm guessing where we're heading now that the villains are becoming more active in the plot.
Yep.
Anything else you want to mention about episode 12 before we move on into our final 2 episodes?
I think we pretty much covered everything we needed from 12.
All right, then. So next we come up with last week's episode. That'd be episode 13, and here we have as I said, the villains. They're taking active steps to stop our heroes, and the first thing that Goma orders to do is to turn off Warp Sama. And I do find it funny how it really is just a switch to turn them all off. Like something
I
you
just don't
like
understand
it's like
why,
it's like going to a fuse box and just pulling down the lever, and that's how you turn off Warp Sama.
I just don't understand. What was his name? Degesu?
Uh,
The brother.
yeah, Degesu, yep.
I just don't understand why he's looking so mortified, like as if he killed someone's puppy. Doing so.
If I had to make a guess, I think it's more so like it's unheard of for someone to deactivate Warp Sama, because the show does show that they, especially, well, the next episode explains why it was even invented and Warp Sama was invented in the first place, but they use Warp Sama for so long, you know, it's kind of like, if you kind of equate it to real life, is basically you go to the airport and they tell you, oh no, you can't fly any planes anymore. And you're like, why? And you're like, why? It's like, you just can't.
I see.
Planes are banned from the chat.
Even though like there's only a few people that even have access to go between worlds.
Well, that's because of as a consequence of establishing Warp Sama. Before then, you know, people were able to travel freely between the worlds.
But yeah, the guess who's been. I was kind of hoping a little, at least at this point, I was kind of hoping a little bit more from him. But
that is true. He is definitely the most lackey of lackeys, considering the fact that he is Shin's brother. But then again, this is Dragon Ball we're talking about. The brothers of characters don't tend to get a lot of good material.
Yeah, because like
actually, oh my god,
first,
they really don't. Oh, I just kind of realized we don't get much from Raditz after he dies. That's a brother.
Mm-hmm.
Cooler technically isn't canon. That's a brother.
Yep.
Goten has nothing going on with him except Gotenks. He's a brother.
True.
Vegeta's brother technically isn't canon.
He was canon now.
Okay, as I said technically, because I forget if I think that's an English dubism when they use mention in Super, but I don't think that's in the original Japanese. Even then, it's dubious. It's dubious at best, but like they don't really do much with him, so I'll still count it. Vegeta's brother, that's a brother.
Oh, Tarble is considered canon apparently.
Yeah, but he's still on the brothers list. The point is, the show does not like using brothers. And unless something happens in the second half of the show, we could add in Degesu, the long list of underutilized brothers in Dragon Ball.
And like the fact that in the beginning of the season, they really like have this whole like, oh yeah, Degesu, mysterious, could be potentially dangerous, and then all we see is just Goma constantly yelling at him.
Yep, and
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And rewinding the Dragon Ball Z footage.
Like Goma saying, "Rewind that last part. That's my favorite part." Yes, sir.
He's a glorified remote.
Too fast.
He's a glorified remote control.
Yeah.
Oh man. Be thankful you're not a brother of a major character in Dragon Ball. And you know what? If you want to stretch it, if you really want to stretch it, you could even include Trunks, but only GT Trunks, because he also didn't amount to nothing, and he is Bra's brother. It's a stretch.
True.
It's a stretch, but you could add him too.
True.
Oh, Ghetto says Oboma's sister on the other hand is one of the main characters, the Space Patrolman Jacko. So sister's getting more. By default, just the fact that she's a major character in a spin-off show, yeah, by default, yeah. So there you go. Back to episode 13. Let's see if I recall. So Goma disables all the warp samas, which means that Goku and the gang are trapped in the second demon world. And again, a consistent problem. Their plane starts to have engine problems.
Yeah.
And they land, and Bulma and Pansy began repairing the ship. And during this time, which I actually think was a pretty fun episode, we get to see one of the residents of the second demon world, that being the humongous giants that live in that world.
Hey, you gotta say it right. The Megath.
As they're called, the
Mega and then TH.
Megath. I like my Megath.
But yeah, the
Megath man.
the planet of Mega is where they landed. Never had to hold this whole exposition of him going, "Oh, we gotta get out of here. We landed in a world of giants." And while they're quickly trying to fix up the engine, as HAC says, a child of the Megath people just so happened to sit down and eat his lunch there. Oh, before that, we also saw the gang fight a bunch of hamsters.
That's right. The ginormous hamsters.
Yeah.
Hamsters. There you go. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that word. Hamtaro. I love me and my Hamtaro on the TV. So they bites the giant Hamtaros. And I do love the fact that the one giant they meet is literally a school kid, and he's not even fighting them. If anything, he thinks they're like these weird bugs that are like, he's like, get away, leave me
They're
alone.
incredibly strong.
Oh yeah, giant and extremely ginormous. The show, I think the episode really good job of scale, of showing just how big these giant species are. They did a fantastic job with that. Almost like it's kind of like seeing like an anime version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, except with less bugs.
But just imagine this. Imagine the fact that you're walking your way to school. A weird fly-looking thing, a weird bug, randomly starts flying up to you, starts shooting these little lights at you, kind of itches. Then when you try to swat it away, it pushes back on you. The bug pushes back. Of course, it fails, but still, it pushed back. How freaked out would you be?
Very freaked out. It would be like fighting Mighty Mouse. Goku was for one episode. Goku was Mighty Mouse for a second.
Also, can we appreciate the fact how terrifying it is to be, not just like fighting the child, but fighting the dog, and also when going inside the dog's fur.
Oh, that's right. You have to deal with these ticks.
The ticks.
Oh, and also like it's so dark because how much fur he has. It's almost like you're literally in another world inside the dog's fur. So that
terrifying.
That was terrifying, but it was cool to see just the people having, not the creators having fun with the concept of the giant people and the giant dogs. I do I do like that, and that was basically the whole bulk of the episode of them dealing with them dealing with giants, and I I am very much enjoying that with this episode and a few others early on that we get just kind of more stuff focused on on adventures and exploring just unique creative ideas that exist within Daima before we continue on with the plot. Because that has happened a
Mm-hmm.
handful of times thus far, and and they done it really well to make sure to show you of how interesting the world of Daima is, and as well to to also give you like a more fulfilling story. Because really think about it, if this show was very focused on just telling its plot, like from an editing standpoint, they wouldn't even do this episode because it doesn't. You could argue it doesn't contribute a lot to the plot. It's just stuff to establish more about the second demon world, and that's really it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that this does exist as a way to have some fun on this adventure and and have it be good, because if this was a bad episode, which I should add, so far these 13 episodes coming up 14, there hasn't been an episode where I'm like, okay, that didn't need to happen, or that was rough. All of them have been fun and just uh a surprise to watch. There hasn't been there, maybe you feel different, but there hasn't been an episode thus far where I'm like, oh, the show is struggling a bit. It's like, nah, keep going. Like this consistency, especially coming up 14 episodes in, that's very hard to come by on from any
Yeah.
type of TV show.
Oh man, these comments, they're just like, they're not it. These comments are so annoying. I'm
Now,
here expecting I'm here expecting like some comments like, "Oh man, I love this part. I want to see what people talk about it." And then there's always the few Dragon Ball Z fans are like, "Oh, this series is not it, man. No, this is a boring episode. I'm doing this only because I want to only because of respect of Toriyama." I'm like, eh,
he's not even doing it because he wants to watch. He's doing it so that I could, give this man his respect.
like in a way it's kind of like, to me it's feel more disrespectful to watch it and kind of constantly talk shit about it, but
It's like, hey,
whatever floats your boat.
it's like just watch to have fun. Good lord, that's what is like. You know what? Oh, you know something I heard recently is that there's a few type. It relates to comic books, but you can also add this to anime fans. That um, there's a few type of fake fans, and you could tell if all they ever talk about is shipping or power scalers. If they
Hmm.
strictly or mostly talk about that as the majority of the way they interact with whatever story or piece of entertainment, then don't they're not real fans. Then
Hmm.
they just like to take other ideas and use them for their own purposes.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and Ghetto says today's anime fan watches anime like sports fans, which is true. That's very true,
True.
especially within the newer shonen crowd. And I think that's what and I think that's just what happens as anime has become more. I see it, Johnny. I think that's just a consequence as anime has become more accepted within mainstream culture and society. So you have all types of people watching anime, and in the same manner that someone who says they play video games and all of their games are either someone with a gun or someone with a ball, those same people will only be watching anime in which either it's all about the fights or all about um the powers. And Daima's not that type of show. It has it a little bit as a pinch, a salt of that, like we see in episode 12. But that's not the focus. We're here to tell a story and have fun and lighten up, man. Come on, Dragon Ball fans, lighten up. Have some fun.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Let's correct that statement. Lighten up, Dragon Ball Z fans, because the Dragon Ball fans know what to expect.
You're right. And Dragon Ball Super fans, they're part of the problem too.
Yep.
All right, that's God dang it. I looked up on X to see what people are saying about Daima, and it did not take long to see some NSFW art of Dr. Adensu. So I'm gonna go and get out of here before I see something I might truly regret. All right. Anything else about episode 13? I got nothing more else to add. Again, fun episode. Technically doesn't move the plot along, but it is fun. It was a very fun episode.
Actually the last part where they they finally got away, and just as an added little bit of lore was like Vegeta going, "Wait, you mentioned that was the second most dangerous world. What's the first?" He's like, you wanted the, and Neva's like, you want to know what the first was? Well, the first dangerous world in the second demon world is the Gigas, where it's just basically
even bigger giants than the other giants than the Megas. Oh man,
like, jeez.
So you have the Megas and you have the Gigas that are bigger than the Megas. Does that mean there exists a world where you have the where you got the Terras that are bigger than the Gigas, who are bigger than the Megas?
Sadly, no, since the most dangerous world is the Gigas, so that would just kind of mean that there is no Terras or.
I want Terras.
Or other stuff.
I need my Terra giants to fit all my Mega giants.
Like, just imagine if the Gigas are bigger than the Megas. I wonder by what scale. Is it like 2 times or is it like 10 times? It has to be 10 times bigger. So like, imagine that child, but 10 times bigger.
Oh my god! Imagine how much food they have to eat. Good lord.
Yeah, I don't think those Krakens will be enough.
No, that's literally like a Kraken would be a Giga's version. That'll be the Giga's version of the takoyaki.
No, it's like the Giga's version of the. It's even less than that. It's like the Giga's version of the tentacle flakes, like the tentacle chips that Japanese have.
Oh yeah, that's right. And also, no, I'm not telling you anywhere, Johnny. I definitely didn't just plainly look up Dragon Ball Daima on X and saw that. I definitely did not do that. It's such a generic.
I definitely did not go into the search menu and.
No, definitely did not do that. Definitely not. All right.
Where? So I can avoid going there. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. All right, now we're catching up with our most up-to-date episode of Where We Are that aired this past Friday, and we are hitting. This is if it's a 20 episode series, we are actually hitting the halfway point, as the whole main focus of this episode is that the gang have officially entered the first demon world, but the whole episode is about how that happens. And the first thing we see is, we can't have a Dragon Ball show without a callback to a very specific group of villains. And we finally meet our own version of the Ginyu Force with the Gendarmerie Force.
They have the Gendarmerie Force.
Yep, or the elite. Yeah, they're literally called the Gendarmerie Force, and they do the poses and all of that, much like the Ginyu Force. And well, I mean, look, they'll never be the Ginyu Force, but for what they did, I do enjoy the fact that unlike the Ginyus, where they're supposed to be a real threat, where we first see the Gendarmerie, what do we see them doing? Literally scarfing a bunch of junk food the first time we see them.
Can we also appreciate, and I'm gonna send you the picture just in case if you're not watching the actual like sections. Can we appreciate the one pose that's on our left? So like we're looking at it, so the left bottom left, whereas this guy's just like on his butt, legs splayed out.
Oh yes, I'll share it on the streams, people, so that people know what we're talking about.
No spoilers.
Oh, I just realized, Ginyu Force, Gendamari Force, GF. Just saying. It's yep. All right, here it is. It's
this just means that these are positions you have to tell your GF to be in.
Yes, and she needs to be working out, because as you'll see in a moment, if she ain't working out, she ain't hitting poses like this. As you can see, folks, those legs better be up in the air with yeah,
those
sorry.
legs up in the air.
up in the air together with the hands over the calf. Oh, let me remove this text real quick so people get a better look. There we go. There's the Gendar Force, and we'll see how much, if they're gonna be more of an actual thread or they're just there for comedy. Either way, they are a fun addition to the series and their debut. They are a fun addition. Funny enough, I almost when I looked at them, especially the big one, I almost said, "Is that Champa?" I said, "No, wait, no. They technically haven't been introduced yet, so it's just something that looks like Champa, but is not Champa."
No. Champa looks like them, since this is going by chronological.
Fair enough. You know what? That's fair. That's fair enough. And I also do like how each of them have like some kind of unique weapon. I forget their names. I'm sure they'll say it, but one has a sword, one has two of them have guns. I think the one lifting his legs up, I think he just has a knife.
Yeah, he has a dagger.
A dagger, and I forget what the big guy has. Was it a hammer?
A staff. I think it's a staff.
It probably is. And the first time you see them, they're scarfing down junk food, and they're supposed to be the elite force of the Kendamori. And after that, they do their pose, and I do love the fact that as they're doing their pose and the introduction, and they end up just using their weapons wildly inside Goma's palace, that the show does make a point to be like, "Hey, you guys, you actually damaging my home." It didn't like,
yep, and that
I do love that they bothered to call attention to that.
And not just that, this caused one of the funnier scenes for me later on in the episode, because remember, here Goma says, "All right, well, you're gonna have to pay for all this."
That's right. They did, and then the next time we see them, they're at a convenience store where they so happen to meet Du and Ku. And
which, funny enough, imagine a mansion. Like, imagine you live in a mansion, and in your own mansion you have a convenience store labeled HAC's convenience store.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a good source of income. You know what? I kind of like this. It'll be good for tourism. I'll be like, "Hey, come to my mansion," and then you come in through the front door, and when you leave, I make you go through the convenience store, like a gift shop at an amusement park.
All right, everyone. We had a lot of fun today. Please go by the gift shop. Make sure you buy something.
There you go. This tour this tour isn't free. I would, if I was disgustingly rich, I would do that. I will have my own better yet, I will have my own personal 7-Eleven just so I can go in there and be like, I'm at 7-Eleven. They go buy some snacks.
You see, guys, this is what happens when you have a lot of money. Money changes you. Money is evil. Look at this man being a consumer, over consuming stuff, then letting the rest of it go to waste.
That's why I'm disgustingly rich. That would be my dream goal. Is like I go to the bank loan and it's like, no, I don't want to own up 7-Eleven at this corner gas station. Open a 7-Eleven in my mansion. Don't question it. You'll understand. You'll understand the vision.
You know, man, I just gotta wonder, like, could there be a practical way of doing this? Because in a way, I actually want that to happen. Like, if I was also disgustingly rich, I would like that. Just have a 7-Eleven in my house, but like maybe like have it to where it's like a section of the house where it's completely closed off from my actual house, so people don't end up like just walking into my kitchen and just like taking my milk.
You know what? It would be the equivalent of like the first floor is the store, and the second floor is where the owner of the store lives. That's how it will work. That's how it will work. If you get further in the back of the 7-Eleven, you end up in a mansion. It'd be just as contrived as a Resident Evil mansion.
And then like the thing would be right here, like it would kind of be nepotism, but if I ever have a child, their first job will be at that store, and if they do not do well in that store, I'm taking away their tip privileges. They're not gonna buy a single damn thing in there. They're gonna be forced to go to the 7-Eleven across 3 different streets.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's the one where they teach your rich kid responsibility. Have them be the cashier at your 7-Eleven.
Yeah, just like imagine just coming into the shop unexpectedly. Yeah, I'm gonna buy this, buy that, buy that, buy that. You know what? No, I never mind. Just put them all back.
Which is what ended up happening in the episode of Daima. Like the Gendamari Force, they come across doing coup as they're wanting to get some chocolate. I think the Gendamari Force say like, hey, when you have this much food, that just shows how strong you are. And Duaku are like, wow, you must be really strong. And the G, I'll just call them the G Force, not to be confused with the Disney movie. The G Force,
yeah,
they get smitten and like, all right, your kids are cool with us. You know what? Yeah, you know what, kid? Let's buy that chocolate for you. And so they go to buy all this huge bag of candy, nothing but candy, and been told that the cashier says, all right, that would be what's basically $10,000.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think they end up paying for everything except the 2 candy for doing coup.
No. They ended up paying only for their stuff and the 2 candy bars.
Really?
Also,
I thought they was separate because I'll try to remember.
well, as you can see, they left the actual convenience store with some bags, so they bought some stuff for themselves, and then they were planning to buy the chocolate for.
Oh, you know what? You're right. All of that chocolate was for them. It was too much, and so they ended up just buying the original chocolates that they wanted. You're right. I miss. Yeah, you're right. Now the scene makes a lot more sense. Now I'm thinking about it.
And also, and if you think about it, it's just like that would not have happened to them in like that embarrassing situation if they didn't shoot up the main area for Goma's mansion.
You know what? That is true. That's funny. It's a very this was a very comedic episode, and but only in the beginning. The second half is where we have the story returns, the story returns to progress as our heroes try to figure out how they get to the first demon world. They can't use warp sama, and luckily I think he's gonna end up being the plot device, since Neva knows a lot more than our heroes, and because he apparently was responsible for a lot of how the demon world society operates, he can just kind of I guess you could say he could kind of fix the situation for them that it's out of their control.
Man, literally, Neva was literally the guy that's in your neighborhood that goes, "Get off my lawn," and then decides, "Fuck it, I'm gonna build a fence around everything, and no one can get in my lawn."
That's true, because we finally get an answer of why the Namekians left in the first place. And it's because literally both the first demon world and the third demon world kept invading their home.
These damn kids, they keep making noise outside our streets.
Not even this is worse than that. Literally all the criminals from the third demon world were coming and ransack the second demon world. And then the first demon world were literally sending in their armies to try to control the second demon world. And so the Namekians okay, we're tired of this. We're gone. We're leaving. And Neva, as he explains, he created warp sama so that this could stop happening, and it did. He actually did stop everyone ransacking the second demon world. But of course, as a consequence, he ends up being the only Namekian to live in Daima, and for the most, and the world of Namek, the original Namek, becomes deserted, and it was shown earlier back in episode 10 or 9. No, episode 10. It was shown earlier in episode 10, or 10 or 11, one of those two. And I admit, it was kind of like one of the few down moments where you kind of see that because of the Namekians, because of them leaving, he just pretty much has lived by himself into his homeland and witness it all become decrepit and decayed. Which
Yeah.
I was thinking about. I was like, man, that's kind of sad. And the fact that he knows why. Because he felt he had to deal with it, and then that became the new norm. And so even when they stopped doing that, there was no reason to not stop using warp sama. So it is kind of interesting when we kind of step back and look at the greater picture of how it's because of Neva, how the world of Daima came to be how it is at this point in time. A lot of his actions that in which he was trying to solve issues that was going on during his time.
Yep. And
So-
also the fact that he's just for an old man, he is very, very strong with magic.
I mean, it is Dragon Ball. Literally, only the older people that exist are any good with magic. You got what's Master Roshi's sister's name again?
Baba.
Yeah, you got I think Old Lady Baba. I think that's what she's called.
Yep. Old Lady Baba.
You got Elder Kai. He has his own magic. Who else? Maybe King Kai. I mean, does he really have any magic?
He has a
He's-
weaker version of the usual magic that Supreme Kais have.
Yeah, he's got a car.
Hey, he's got a nice looking car.
Exact.
But he's dead.
No, didn't he not come back to life again?
Nope.
He still got a car though. Elkai don't got no.
He still has that car.
He still got that car though. Elder Kai just has a nudie magazine. Like what a good god he is.
Imagine having to read the same nudie magazine forever. Damn.
Oh, that, you know what? Maybe maybe our older relatives can relate to that. We definitely don't. It's like, this magazine helped me go through hard times, and when not between the ages 17 and 35. Oh, reliable.
Grandpa, why are the pages stuck together?
Oh, those were
Don't touch it.
Those were the
Don't
good.
touch it.
Don't touch it. Yeah, but those were the good pages. Those I call reliable.
Oh, reliable.
Can't go wrong with Miss January. Anyways, so back to episode 14. When as they're stuck and trying to figure out how to progress forward, Neva, with using his powerful magic, decides to finally unlock the basically, what was this shield of light, basically, or this light force field that he originally put there for the actual large tunnels that connect the demon worlds to each other. So after many years of them being barred and no one can get in, and if you try, you get killed, he finally unlocks them, and the gang can finally can traverse into the first demon world by the end of the episode. And from here on out, it's probably going to be more higher stakes, as now they're going to try to figure out where the last Dragon Ball is, and things are going to come to a lot of butting heads. So I suspect a lot's going to happen within episode 15 and onward.
I suspect a lot of things with Glorio. After a while, they're going to be questioning, how does he know where the first one is at now that it's, or like they're going to be hearing some things of like the first one's already taken, and how does Glorio know where to go?
Oh, that's right. It's going to be coming up. Hey, Glorio. I'm sure Shin's going to be like, who you been talking to late at night? Huh?
Yep.
I wonder how they're going to handle. I wonder how they handle that. He thinks, I'm guessing he's going to be easily forgiven after he probably gives like a sob story.
I was talking to I was sexting.
Yes, I was sexting with my boss. Yeah, we have that type of relationship. We do it all the time. Oh, now
Oh boy, I sure do love it when puts her hair and our hair together.
Hey, that just like the Navi. I was my mind went straight to do you know remember the episode of King of the Hill where Buck Strickland he starts becoming the owner of Strickland Propane. His wife takes over, and because Strickland was cheating on his wife with Debbie. Remember Debbie?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
His wife tries to get back at Strickland by trying to make make Hank sleep with her. And then as like as things keep progressing, Debbie then starts tries to make Hank cheat with her. And there's that one scene where she's calling the phone and Hank tries to play along with whatever Debbie's talking about, and he's so uncomfortable in trying to talk sexy over the phone. He goes, "Oh yeah, we could do that, baby." And he hangs up, and immediately Hank goes, "Oh, I just had phone sex." And that also emphasizes this is one of the best lines in the show, as Debbie's becoming real desperate and trying to sleep with Hank, and Hank is in his car. Debbie's trying to go is like bang on his window, and she goes, "Nobody says no to Debbie, whatever her last name is." And Hank goes, "Well, I just did," and he rolls up the window.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, kill goat among men. He's a goat among men.
That is why he's called King of the Hill.
Ah, that's right. That's right.
That's
Oh,
right.
oh, Ghetto shares a story going back to nudie magazines for a little bit. He says a friend of mine actually keeps nudie mags, and having thumbed through some of them, I can see the appeal. But it's a different form of eroticism, still life eroticism. What I guess that's the one way to put it. Like a still life painting, is you're capturing a moment of erotica etched forever in a photograph. Ah. Isn't that what all doujins are when you think about it? You're
Yeah,
you're
I guess so.
capturing an erotic moment of time.
I mean,
Be
not
it-
all dojins, but yeah.
but
I would say.
not all doujins, but most
Because
doujins.
I don't wanna say
Hashtag not all.
Goku getting chained up in different universe going ways is erotic. Actually,
To some people, that might
to
find
some
something.
people it is. Never mind.
Wrong example.
Wrong example. Never mind. Throw whatever I said out the window. Forget it.
Woo!
Everything's erotic in dojins.
Exactly. I mean, that's what Johnny's art is. Is his not just still art of beauty, as he captures an angelic woman with a bloody knife, and you think to yourself, I'll risk it. I'll take that risk. Anyways, back to Dragon Ball. This was a pretty straightforward episode. The Gundam Marie Force stole. They pretty much stole the show in terms of their comedy and presence, and it's really all just setting up as we enter the second half of Dragon Ball Daima, which means that if the schedule is consistent and we keep getting a new episode week after week, the show, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The show will most likely conclude sometime this May. So we still got about 4 more months of Daima 4 more months of Daima left, assuming they keep releasing these episodes weekly.
Yep. And then from there, the supposed new season of Super.
Is that a thing?
Well, it's not like confirmed that it's gonna be right after Daima, but I think from what I heard that there was rumors that it's gonna be made with the Moro arc and the granola stuff too.
I can see. Okay, so just adapting that's in the stuff that's in the Super manga.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see that happening because otherwise, like I was thinking after this, we're done.
With Toriyama stuff, yep.
Yeah, well,
We're done.
we're Toriyama stuff. I mean, I would like the series to be done in general, but it still makes money, and it has shown that other people can take the mantle and continue it, provide new life and ideas into this. Oh God, how old is Dragon Ball? Oh my God, hold on.
And yeah, it is very. It's wild how long it's been
Let me get.
going, even though with the hiatuses in between.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's been making new stuff every year, but so Dragon Ball started back in 1984, and do a little math, do a little water. 2025 minus 1984. 41 years. God dang.
Damn.
This show is old enough to drink, go to the army, vote, and make a life insurance policy. So yeah, whew. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about, Jack. I mean, one thing that I think is crazy is the potentially that there will be stuff when Dragon Ball is 50 years old.
Damn.
And that would be like 9 years from now when I am, let's see, 9. Oh God, 8 plus, what's 8 plus 9? When I will be 37. I'll be 37.
Damn, almost in our 40s by that point.
Oh my God. But I think the only one way that the show actually like stops up if honestly if the voice actress for Goku dies. God forbid, because
True.
I think once like maybe they could replace her. Maybe that would be both risky in terms of legacy and especially because she does more than just Dragon Ball. Just Dragon Ball is her it's her big role. I want to say her name. I keep forgetting what her name is. Uh, don't tell me in the chat. Don't tell me. I want to look it up so that I may remember. Masako Nozawa. There we go. So Nozawa. It's gonna be interesting that when she eventually leaves his life, would that actually be the definitive end of Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
Because I mean, they can always recast Goku. They could do that. But considering how much voice acting is revered in Dragon Ball and how much of a legacy she has, they Toei may not even want to do that out of respect or just not to deal with the public disaster of such a decision, because she is someone that she has been Goku for so long that she cannot be replaced. So here's praying that she can that they can finish Daima with nothing major happening, and that if they do another season of Super, that's fine. But if not, then let this be the last of Toriyama's legacy, and from here, make your Dragon Ball merch, make another video game or whatever. But as far as new stories, let this be the end. I will be fine of like where I can say Dragon Ball started in 1984 and it ended in 2025.
Yep.
So a little bit of a downer, but it is on a hopeful one, because Daima, I believe, now that we're halfway into the show, kind of looking back at what we've seen so far, Daima is probably the culmination of Toriyama doing the best at what he does, of doing adventure stories with the type of fast-paced action that, as much as the plots of Z and Super can be criticized, you cannot take away the fact that he pioneered of how to do very intense, fast shonen action like he did with Dragon Ball. And Daima is a good balance of everything of his skills as a writer, from the comedy to the characters interacting with each other, to the world building, to the action. This is Toriyama distilled to how he is as a writer and as a creator, and it's amazing to see it play out very well, and the fact that this will be essentially his final legacy. This is the last thing he personally worked on. It really shows that this is a master in their craft while working. I know I've been, I have been very much critical of his work in the past, and there are things to criticize about Toriyama as a writer and as a manga artist. One thing I'll never take away is that he now fully knows his strength, knows his weaknesses, and can create a show that he can create a show in which it focuses solely on his strength as a writer, and be able to make something that's still entertaining, still fresh, and still something that's worth exciting to watch every week. Especially something that's old as Dragon Ball, and that's very difficult to do. And Super kind of showed of that it's hard not to go into to gimmicks or nostalgia in order to get people to watch your show. So with all that said, Jack, go. Do you have anything final to say before we start closing off this episode with regards to episode 14 or this halfway point now that we are going into the second half of Daima?
Well, by this point, I am gonna be expecting a change in maybe a slight change on how the adventure's gonna go. There could be more adventure stuff like Dragon Ball, or it could go into more like action focused. All we know is that whenever the episode ended, it ended with them being shot at by a bunch of soldiers. So that's definitely telling of like how the next episode is gonna start off. Also, can we appreciate how Toriyama really showed the dynamic between like yes, he showed it every now and then when it came to like Z and Super, but he's showing how much Vegeta loves Bulma as, in this one, especially like how he's carrying Bulma
Oh, that's right.
while they're all free falling.
That was also very cute. He's literally princess carrying his wife. That was very cute.
Very, very adorable. I just love these little small details. So yeah, I am excited for the rest of this. It has definitely been something that I watch almost every single week. So I can't wait.
And with that, folks, we cut to the end of our episode 204 of the Hack Jack Show. And as we go into our closing announcements, I am finally glad to say that as far as re-editing and pulling up these episodes into proper edited videos, I finally caught up. So now from here on in, no more re-uploading older episodes as new videos. Now, things are now from here on out. It's just gonna be the newer episodes. So here is how it's gonna work, and this is mostly just to work well with the YouTube algorithm. Is that after the live stream is over, it's going to be taken down and it's going to be re-uploaded as a proper video, edited video with a very minor edits, nothing too major, so that it can be then uploaded as a proper video for everyone to see instead of just as a live stream. So thankfully, now that I'm caught up, I can do this in peace, and knowing that I am not behind on this angle, which I wish I wouldn't have to do, but just for the YouTube algorithm, it's better in the long run. All right, that's enough of that. Jack, what do you have anything to announce for this? Anything to announce for this week? For this week until the next episode of the Hack Jack Show.
So, there will be, of course, some of y'all noticed, there have been changes to my schedule personally and in general. Uh, it'll be somewhat consistent, but I am gonna be like taking a step back and seeing if I might need to stream less and do more content because, uh, as we all know, with the whole TikTok ban in America, putting that there in America, and it coming back for 90 days because it's still banned. It's just the services are back for 90 days until there's some kind of agreement going on. I have officially released the YouTube channel that I have for me. It'll be at just Jack VT. I'll be posting I'll be re-uploading all of my TikTok videos. I think there are some that are gonna be kind of lost. It sucks, but it's just the way it is. I can't go get those back without doing some other fancy stuff. Um. So yeah, the new YouTube is already up. I've already had some shorts scheduled to go off daily, and I will be thinking of content for specifically the YouTube side. Uh, I have a few things in mind, and it's basically gonna be divvying up my streaming and the content creation. But it's I hope I have everything planned out well. Other than that, I think since I'm not gonna be having classes tomorrow because of the freeze, and if all goes well, I should be streaming then tomorrow just for a one-time stream on the Tuesdays.
All right, all right then. As for me, progress still continues along with my Saint Seiya video. I just a little I guess let's see that I can sneak in. I just finished the section on Ikki. So if you know who that is, you know that should excite you just a little bit. I finished the Ikki section, so I got other characters to work on, and other than that, I have made behind the scenes plans that Jack is aware of on getting started on my own personal YouTube channel, but that's all I could share for the time being. I don't want to share too much until there is proper flow of content coming into that channel. Just know that these things are being worked on behind the scenes. So until then, thank you very much for joining us for episode 204 of the HAC Show. We hope you enjoyed this long discussion of Daima and the Switch 2, and we look forward, hopefully, to see you guys next time in a less snow covered environment. Until then, this is HAC and JAC. Sign off.
Good night, everyone.